Alright, so today I'm going to be doing another VOD review. I quickly wanted to say though, as I was reviewing this VOD and trying to analyze it and figure out what I could tell our hero today to help them improve, it's not as easy to teach people when you don't get instant feedback from them. And it's hard to help them improve quickly whenever they are unable to receive instant feedback as well. Anyways, the ultimate goal for this would be to be able to live stream it so that I could help people and give feedback and receive feedback in real time. But for now, that's not going to be quite possible. Maybe it will be in the near future though. However, meanwhile, I'm just going to keep doing it how I plan to, and I'm going to try to make some videos over some concepts that might help better than just coaching individual people. I still like doing these videos though where I analyze one specific person's gameplay, and the more that I do these, the quicker I become, the better I become, and the more that I'll be able to get them out. Also, ideally I can make some improvements as I go. For example, being able to live stream. I think that's the most obvious, most impactful one. That being said, there's probably some other impacts that I can make that are actually accessible to me right now. So the first thing that I want to do today is go over a couple of the things that I feel like I kind of slacked on in the last video. I knew this next week was going to be really busy for me, so I really just wanted to get the video out, and it kind of was a little bit sloppy, I would say. I don't think the video was bad. I actually think it has a lot of good information. I just think that as someone that is educating people, my standard for what I put out should be higher than what this video came out to be, if that makes sense. So here I am to correct a few of those mistakes and to tell you that I'm going to be spending a little bit more time on the videos in the future. But let's start with this. In the last video here, I was talking about how this is a good position for mag and it's a good place to take space. That's what I said. However, I think that was a little bit unclear. I was thinking that this ramp, once it falls, the high ground can be a good place to pressure them and to kind of open an opportunity to create space. Also, this little area in front of this cart to the right of the thing in this picture, this can be a good spot to play before the ramp falls, and once the ramp falls, it'll open up that opportunity for you to walk towards the high ground. In this part of the replay, I said that the mag misplayed by walking out so much. After thinking about it, I don't think I should really be pointing out when one above all players misplay, because sometimes it looks like a misplay and it's not. Anyways, this opened up an opportunity for them to win the fight, and then the Bucky had a really good hook. And if you read the text on screen, that is more accurately describing my feelings towards this interaction. I put that you could say this, but I would say that the text on screen is the most accurate representation. Finally, if you go back and watch the video, when they are switching sides in the spawn room, I talk about how players use intuition to their advantage, but that's not entirely the case. It's more complicated, and I think kind of what I said can be a little bit disregarded. You don't really have to pay attention to it. I will be going more in depth on this in the future, and that's why I kind of wanted to point it out here, but I think I made a mistake by pointing it out. Just ignore kind of what I was saying. Today we're going to be looking at an Iron Man / Strange game. I don't talk too much about the Iron Man here, but I wanted to give a good player that you could study, just because I realized it was hard to find Iron Man players, so I wanted to share some of the knowledge that I found. So I wanted to pick a good Iron Man player that you could look at for reference. This is the best Iron Man player that I've found. I realized that Tim the Tatman did a spectating video on this. If you're looking for a good player on any specific hero, Tim the Tatman has actually a bunch of videos spectating the #1 player of any given hero. And I have to say, you do not know how hard it was for me to figure out who a good Iron Man player is. It's just really hard. Apparently nobody plays Iron Man, but I don't think he's bad. I think he has potential. I've seen him in B tier on tier lists, but you can rank up with anyone. So if you're looking for a good Iron Man player to study, this will be the one. So one thing that I did to prepare for this gameplay analysis is that I actually played a couple games of Iron Man on my own to, one, figure out exactly how you should be playing, and two, to give an example as to how you should be playing as Iron Man. This way I was able to gain some knowledge over the subject, and now I'll be able to explain it to you. So first I'm going to talk about my Iron Man clip. The first thing I want you to know is that Unibeam is your best friend. You need to use Unibeam as much as you possibly can. The first thing you're going to do in every game is to pressure the front line with your Unibeam like I'm doing here. If they want to push up or pressure your back line, just Unibeam them. They're not going to be able to do almost anything if you're playing with your team. Since our hero is a little bit lower rated, you will notice that if you Unibeam the front line, they just won't do anything about it. Players in this rank do not understand how Iron Man works, and so they won't be able to deal with it. Just remember to play around your team and remember to be safe when you're doing this. But essentially what you're going to be doing is playing near your team, and if anyone wants to come near, you Unibeam. If not, you just stay back. Eventually openings will come and you will be able to hit your little flank, hit your little ultimates, and find picks. Here are some of the players that I played against in this match, and keep in mind it was a quick play game, but they're high enough rank to punish me if I were to play the wrong way. So I think the main thing to focus on for Iron Man is the playstyle. That being said, I'm going to talk about this first fight. The first thing I want to touch on is the routing. Now this doesn't matter too much, but typically I see higher players route this way and check this door before they go towards main. Iron Man can do this really safely, and a lot of people play here, so it's not bad to check it out real quick. But from there, you're basically just going to walk up. I actually like this initial positioning under the bridge behind your Strange. This is a really good spot to put some pressure on with the Unibeam. And you see their Strange is a little pushed up here. This would be a good time to pressure him out. The next play is going to be to play on the high ground using these tall walls as cover. You're not going to walk out or anything, you're just going to look for the Strange and try to Unibeam him. If you can push them back, that's the main thing you want right now. You'll find that more often than not, if you do this, someone will just present themselves as an elimination right in front of you.
A nice deep freeze.
I'd know that honk anywhere. This is real firepower!
Right here, the first thing that I would do is route the same way that you routed in the beginning, hugging this left wall and trying to find an opportunity to put your Unibeam on that Strange. If you manage to get the Strange to walk back, then you can look at high ground where the Moon Knight is standing to see if you can find anyone to Unibeam then. Now this Moon Knight is going to ult in our backline and we avoid it, which is fine. We need to be looking to kill this Moon Knight now. We need to walk up with our Unibeam. Both our healers are right there, so they'll help you out. Or maybe more importantly is a Strange on the high ground. Their Strange was pressuring our Namor, and that would have been a good target. And then after that you could have focused the Moon Knight. It's just important that we get rid of him because he's in our space. This is going to be the ultimate. The thing about the ultimate is that you need to flank more. The biggest tip that I can give you for Iron Man ultimate is that most Iron Man players wait until after winning a fight to position for the next fight so that they can get an ultimate off then. Sometimes that will just lead to a fight win after the fight that you had already won, and you'll just keep snowballing. Otherwise, the only way to get a good ult off is either to flank or to do something really, really tricky. Now we'll talk about the Strange gameplay. The first thing that I want to say is that you should never be standing this close, this far out on the left. You should always be standing behind that wall on the right. Also, after reviewing this, I could tell you that some Stranges actually play the high ground as well. The lower you go in rank, the more people will expect you to play in the front, so I don't necessarily recommend this, but it might help you at some point in the future, maybe if you have a second main tank. Using hindsight, I could tell you we lose this fight because the Psylocke goes on the most regular flank ever and we're not prepared for it. If we were pushed further back, maybe we could have helped our Luna Snow stay alive. Okay, so this is a bit of a unique concept, and it's kind of specific to this game, but I think it's important to talk about, and you use it to benefit yourself in the future. So playing this corner here is actually the correct play, but it's a really hard corner to hold, and I went to look at some more replays from one of all lobbies on how they hold this corner, and they do it pretty much the same way. The only way they win fights here is with ultimates on defense. I've actually never seen someone hold at this corner, so I'm surprised that the finish line is right here. I could also tell you that with Iron Man, this is a really good spot for him to play, and if you use this wall as cover, they won't really be able to walk out because you'll just unibeam them whenever they do. If that doesn't work, the other thing that you could do is use the window. I know you know the window, you used it earlier in this game. You could use it to go on a flank. I actually want to point out that this hold isn't bad. You do a lot of good things before the major mistake, and the rough part is that we just lost the fight here and that we have to hold on this corner. Like I was saying, it's a really hard corner to hold, but just make sure your left and right flank are being watched, you're being aware of it. This ult is really good. The reason that this ult is good is because you notice that they're being aggressive. Bucky is being super aggressive here, especially with his ult, and being able to ult both of their supports while you see the Strange walk up is essentially the best way to shut that down.
Okay, so my other mic broke, so I have to switch. This is just a temporary fix. I'm gonna switch it in next video. Anyways, there's two more fights that I want to talk about. This one and then the next one. Here our Psylocke ults and our Invisible Woman cancels it pretty much. Our Moon Knight ults and he gets 2. Once I see the Invisible Woman ult down, I know that my backline is safe. So I'm going to be putting as much pressure as I can on them, specifically the Strange. And I will not stop walking on this guy until he goes back to his spawn door, maybe. This is where the fight goes wrong. You can see this Venom that I circled. This Venom is going to be behind us now, and we focus heavily on the Venom. Now, if you go back and watch the replay, it's a little easier to see, but the Strange is right behind us, killing an Invisible Woman, and then he goes on to pressure Luna Snow as well. You'll notice right here, the only healing that you get is a little bit from the Snowflake, because you have one healer alive and they can't see you. So that was a bit of a mistake there. Then they Invis Woman ults, and essentially our win condition to stop them from winning with Invisible Woman ult is going to be to Luna Snow ult and then win the fight with it. Our Luna Snow does ult, but it's not impactful enough to swing the fight because we lost Invis Woman early, which led to losing Doctor Strange early, and the reason we lost Invis Woman early is because we were so focused on the Venom instead of the Strange, who is the one that could actually do the damage to our backline. So that'll be the game. I'm gonna drop a few more points that our hero should focus on in this video, and it might help anyone else that's looking to improve. One thing I want to say is that there is a lot that anyone can improve on. I point out specific points, however, so that you can focus on the things that are the most important for you to rank up. And that's why I like coaching a specific person. The next video is going to be about how professional players play the game of Marvel Rivals and how the ranked game of Marvel Rivals that we all play is played. There's a big difference, but the biggest help to learning how to improve and learning your mistakes is by knowing how you should be playing the game in the first place. Anyways, that's it. I know this was a bit of a shorter video, and I know that I didn't post for 9 or 10 days or whatever. I'm sorry. I've been busy. But I will be putting out videos probably a little bit more quickly as I discover new ways to improve them. If anyone needs help learning how to improve, I will be here. Just leave a comment, and I may end up doing a second video on our hero today for some reinforcement. and just to be sure that the things that I'm telling the people that I coach are working for them and people are understanding it, and so that I can have feedback. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye 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 bye.